Arsenal are scary. And if you don't believe that, you're either deluded or a hater. 6 to 7 changes from their first team tonight, going away to Inter Milan at the San Siro, and they were amazing. Arsenal were impeccable. Their European campaign as a whole has been perfection. It has been perfection. 2 goals conceded, and both of them, by the way, stunners. Tonight's goal, stunner. One of the highest goal scorers in the competition this year. In fact, are they the highest? Joint with Paris Saint-Germain on 20 goals, but only 2 conceded. 7 wins in a row. They equal a club record for the most amount of Champions League games won in a row. Win away at the San Siro for the first time since 2008. And why are all these little pieces of information so important? Because this is a Arsenal team that has grown. This is an Arsenal team that is different. And one thought that went through my mind in this match before we break it down in its entirety is European sides tend to be a little bit more adventurous against Arsenal. They open up a bit more. They put players in attacking areas in between the lines. That makes the games more entertaining. Nearly all their Champions League games this year have had a bit of jeopardy in them. The teams have approached them. Arsenal are not the reason that some of their league games are dull. It's the opponents. It's the approach of the teams that are playing Arsenal that make the games bad. And they came out tonight, and as I mentioned, the strength in depth is ridiculous. 6 to 7 first-team changes. They came out, and it was like a freight train. They pressed. They moved the ball forward quickly. They uneased Inter Milan. They didn't let them breathe. And the first goal comes, and yeah, there's a slight bit of fortune with Timber not hitting his shot particularly well, but the reaction from Gabriel Jesus, who's been given his opportunity in the first team, who's had his chance tonight to stake a claim in the opening 11, a great poacher's goal, 1-0. And then Inter Milan step up their levels. They attack, they put players in between the lines, they get men forward, they press Arsenal hard. And there was often in the game holes in behind Arsenal's midfield. But those holes are often there. The reason you don't see them when most Premier League teams play them is they don't have the confidence to put the extra man in that space. It's either the number 9 drops into it, so when he picks the ball up, there's no one around him to move it off to. Gabriel or Saliba eat it up, or Zubimendi gets back. But here tonight, they were sticking midfield players. They had players inverting. Plus, Thuram was there. Obviously, you had Lautaro Martinez as well. And they came forward. And they caused Arsenal problems. And had a couple of half chances and then a thunderbolt to make it 1-1. And then it was this question, could this highly rotated Arsenal team, Miles Lewis-Skelly back in the side, Mosquera returning on the left-hand side, a midfield with no Declan Rice in it, no Captain Odegaard in it, Jesus back in the team, of course some brilliant first teamers out there, Trossard, Saka, to name a few, could they respond? And from that point, yes, they had opportunities into Milan. When it was 2-1, they could have equalised. No one is saying they didn't have chances. That would be a lie. But Arsenal, the longer that game went on, got better and better and better. And stopped one of the best teams in Europe. And although, yes, their last 3 games, I think, have all been defeats in this competition, they are still a good team. They are still a hard team. If you forget the banter, put the banter down for a minute. Put the banter down. Arsenal got stronger and stronger as the game went on. And the second goal comes, of course, set piece of Lele. And there was something very interesting from Arsenal. Their first 2 or 3 corners, near post. This time, it was hit to the far post, and I'm not sure about you. I thought, oh, he's overhit that. But Trossard gets there, heads it back across the face of goal, and the Inter Milan players are asleep, sleeping on the job, and Gabriel gets his second goal. Then Arsenal, for me, from that 2-1 period onwards, they were in the ascendancy. They were the better team. There was a couple of good opportunities in the game. One that fell, the striker that came on, his name eludes me. It was Esposito, sorry. Really, listen, all the websites are giving him a 5 out of 10. I thought he came on, looked really dangerous. He had a great shot and turn that caused problems for Arsenal. But similar time that those subs happened, you saw Declan Rice come on and Ben White came on. A few minutes after that, Gabriel and Victor Gyökeres came on, and Arsenal just went up another level. And they absorbed the attack. Inter needed to win. Their next game is away to Borussia Dortmund. They have to win that for automatic qualification. And they had to throw men forward, and Arsenal caught them again. A wonderful pass on the outside of his foot from Martinelli. Saka was played in and actually miscontrols it, but gets the assist as his football. And then Victor Gyökeres, bang, into that top corner. Best goal he scored. Amazing for his confidence. But again, it just demonstrates the sheer quality of this Arsenal team, the strength they have in depth. They are the best team in Europe this season. For me, no one has been on their level so far. Real Madrid have had a very good Champions League campaign. Spurs currently actually sit in a really good position in 5th. Bayern Munich have been very good and will go only a little bit behind them, but they beat Bayern Munich. Nobody has been as good as Arsenal this year. Nobody. And there's 2 or 3 teams that can chat to them. Everybody else, Arsenal have been clear of. And they've done that with great rotation. And that is the scary element about this team. This is why, and you got your answers tonight. So if you're an Arsenal fan and you're getting into these debates and people are saying to you, why is it that Arsenal's games are so boring and they don't attack and they don't take more risk? It's the opponent. You've seen it in Europe, and tonight is an absolute case in point. Tonight is an absolute case in point that you have to look at, which is, if you open up against Arsenal, if you give them space in behind, if you attack them, of course you might score some goals. You're going to get some chances. But the likelihood is they're going to put goals past you. They're going to hurt you. And that is what Arsenal did tonight in a fantastic way. If I'm going to be critical, and I don't really feel like when you win 3-1 away from home, you should be overly critical. I feel it's nitpicking. There's only probably one Arsenal player tonight that annoyed me, and that was Bukayo Saka. I feel if I'm Mikel Arteta, you've got to get in his ear and say, sometimes, mate, pass. There was a time where he had a shot that didn't curl, went just wide, would have been a spectacular goal, but he could have played Gabriel Jesus in earlier, who would have been clean through on goal for a hat-trick. And then before the Gyökeres third goal, he's got to square it. Him and Trossard are free in the middle. Square that ball and kill the game. Because in a knockout match, if you're winning 2-1, who knows? The ball goes up the other end, bounces off somebody's backside and goes in. Game's level. You've got to kill these games off. Outside of that, though, I think Arsenal fans should be on cloud 9 tonight. You're going to top the group, but there is something substantial in doing that. One, it sends a message to Europe that we're as good as any of you, if not better. Open up against us at your peril. But even more importantly, the second legs are all at the Emirates. And I think that gives anyone who has a second leg at home, especially with no away goals, there is an advantage to that. No doubt about it. So this is massive. This is huge for Arsenal tonight. And the final thing I want to say in terms of my review on this is Victor Gyökeres. Now, I'm not going to claim I'm right because it's one game, it's a small sample size, but it's an indicator. He came on tonight, 15 minutes to go, and everything I expected to see was there. Up against tired legs, up against defenders that have already done 75 minutes, he looked like a beast against them. Now, I think he has the physical capabilities to do that from the beginning of games when his confidence is right and when he's feeling himself. And I feel that moving to a team with a more sophisticated style of football, new league, new teammates, the pressure that comes with the hype, Victor Gyökeres, I believe this all season, I've been saying it for 3 or 4 months, that I don't think he should have started as many games as he did. But of course, because of the injuries to Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, it became a necessity for him to start. And I feel that if he starts today's game, I'm not sure he scores the goal, especially the first goal that Gabriel Jesus does. I certainly don't think he scores an absolute screamer. And this is why I feel that a series of games coming on from the bench against tired legs, while still learning how to fit into this team and rebuilding his confidence, I think is absolutely essential for him. But I was really happy for him because, you know, he's scored more goals than most of the new strikers purchased by every Premier League club this summer. But for some reason, his team's top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League, but he's getting more stick and more criticism than any of those other players. Rarely are we talking. Listen, sometimes his movement has been bad. Sometimes his first touch has been awful. I've criticised it, and I know you have criticised it. But there's been multiple other times where he's been there free for an easy ball to be squared or passed to him, and the ball ain't come. The pass hasn't been made, and people are laughing at him for that. So really happy for him tonight. Still a work in progress. You know, one swift does not a summer make, but brilliant from him. Fantastic from Arsenal on every single level. Can't wait to read your comments. Can't wait to read what you guys have got to say about this. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn that bell notification button on as well. But Arsenal, fuck me, they're scary.